Hi, I'm TJ Walker, CEO of Media Training Worldwide. Here are some of the frequent questions that I get. Number one, what are the main elements of executive presence in the media? The main thing is looking and sounding comfortable, confident, and relaxed. There's a big myth out there that you're sort of born with this skill, born with this voice. No, you're not. It's learned behavior. The problem many executives have is they go in front of the media, they go on any kind of TV show, or it could be a website where there's video involved, and they look scared because they stiffen up. They stop moving. Their head stops moving. Their hands stop moving. Their body's frozen, and they're kind of like this. Now, I could say the most brilliant things in the world, but if I look like this, you will think I'm scared, nervous, and uncomfortable. So the keys to looking comfortable, confident, and relaxed, whether you want to call it executive presence or just coming across well, is you have to move. You have to move your hands, your body, your face, your head, and you have to sound like a real person. That's why you can't sound like you're reading a teleprompter in your brain and blah, blah, blah. You have to have highs, lows, fast, slows, and pausing when you talk. You need all of those things to sound like you're just having a real conversation. So all of this isn't hard to do, but you have to practice on video, and that's what I do when I train people. I get them on camera at least a dozen times in a day so they know how to look their best, sound their best, come across comfortable, confident, and relaxed. Next question, what are the major issues with current executives who struggle with communicating? The big issue is a lot of people are still too greedy. They want to communicate way too many ideas. Or they think of a media interview as an opportunity to show somebody how smart they are. They think of it as back in graduate school where they have to be able to answer every question and give a 2-hour answer to show every single thing they know on the subject. That's not what an interview is about. It's about getting the ideas you care about the most on this topic into the final story. That's what it's about. It's not about a battle of wits. It's not about controlling the reporter or controlling the interview. People ask me all the time, TJ, can you teach me how to control the interview? I said, why would you want to do that? You don't have to control the interview. All you have to control is what comes out of your mouth. That's what gets people into trouble. It's not the lack of control of the reporter. It's the lack of control over what comes out of your own mouth. Once people realize that, it changes their perspective on everything they do with media interviews. The next question, how has the corporate presentation style changed over the last decade? In my opinion, it really hasn't changed much, although in some cases it's gotten worse. There's this Prezi thing out there. There's even greater reliance on PowerPoint. And I should say this, I like PowerPoint. I use PowerPoint every day. But you'll never see me read bullet points on a PowerPoint slide, ignore my audience, and read, because it's really boring, and there's absolutely zero evidence to suggest that's an effective way of communicating. But here's the reality. Most people everywhere, forever, have been awful speakers because people aren't trained on how to present effectively, whether it's giving a speech or to the media. So there's never been some golden era when everyone was a wonderful silver-tongued orator. It's always been something that stands out as rare because most people are boring. People aren't any better today than they were 10 years ago. And to the extent that people like to rely on technology, in some cases it's gotten worse. I'm not anti-technology. I use video clips, PowerPoint images, TV screens. I use all kinds of technology when I communicate, but none of that substitutes for the fact that you've got to be able to look people in the eye, tell them your message, give them examples, give them case studies, tell them an actual story involving a real person in a real place with a real problem and how you solve their problem. That's the essence of good communication. If you've got an image to show up on a slide, that's great. If you got a whole bunch of text, my recommendation, give people handouts. Give them a whole book if you want it, but don't stand up and project a whole bunch of text to people. That's incredibly awful. Next question. Are there differences in getting the corporate message out across cultures? There's issues that are different for every single company, every single organization. For the most part, what I find is remarkably similar anywhere in the world is what gets quoted. If you are a business executive in Brussels, in Buenos Aires, in San Antonio, Texas, your topics may be different, but if you're talking to a reporter, when it comes down to what will actually get quoted, all quotes basically come from 10 categories. It's either an analogy, a bold action word, a cliche, a humor, a pop culture reference, a rhetorical question, an attack. I've listed all of those in a book I'm sending with you as well, and you can make that available to all the viewers and readers of your newsletter too. But it's very, very specific and it's consistent. The only thing I find that's different, because I work with clients from 6 continents all over the world, in some cultures, especially in the Middle East, a lot of publications give much, much more information from the business person's perspective. You get longer quotes, are more likely to print the whole press release. But even then, the highlighted quotes, the quotes that get the highest placement, all come from these soundbite categories, so you've got to know how to package and prepare your message in soundbites. So to me, the similarities are much greater than the differences. Thanks for your time. Look forward to communicating with any of you. Have questions, feel free to contact me, or comments. And again, I'm attaching my book, Media Training Success, and you can make that available to all your listeners, and I hope you'll find that helpful, and it will answer even more of your questions about media training. Thanks so much. I'm TJ Walker.